Hello and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. It's a very special one today, and I will tell you why. Because, if you're like me, you have FOMO, you don't want to miss out on anything, you like a contest, and you like a contest with a good bracket. And since we're months away from March Madness, we're in the throes of college football season, hockey is just getting started, Yankees didn't make the playoffs, so we need something else to fill the constantly hungry void of competition. And anytime it involves gambling and girth, well, sign me up twice, Susan. Talking about Fat Bear Week, and I don't know if you know what it is, but it is a bracket-style competition of chubby brown bears in Alaska and Katmai National Park. And these bears are so friggin' cute and fat and chubbalicious, and they're just about to go into hibernation. So they have been eating tons of salmon. And, literally, you have some chubby monkeys out there who they fight each other. They have Shakespearean tragedies for lives. There is loss. There is growth. There are comeback stories. But the best thing about the bears, there are 8 bear cams, and you can follow them throughout the summer, throughout the year. I mean, they spend 6 months in hibernation. But I just want to highlight some of the front runners because there are some very popular bears out there. There was some worry that there was going to be a government shutdown that would shut down the national parks and we wouldn't have Fat Bear Week. Well, Fat Bear Week is about to come to an end. So you can go to explore.org and you can check out the bears. Just go ahead and Google Fat Bear Week because there's some delightful pictures. And I don't know if you've ever loved brown bears. I remember seeing them for the first time in Canada when I was camping with my family. And I was intrigued and kind of scared by them, but not terrified because they looked so beautiful and so adorable that I didn't feel like they were put on this earth to harm me, which is how most people die from bear attacks because they feel like they're one with the bears and the bear's like, no. I also saw a bunch of bears at snowboard camp in Whistler Blackcomb in British Columbia, and they're all over the place. And if you see a mama bear, run in the opposite direction. And let me just lay out some of the bears. Some of my favorites are the moms, of course. I'm always pulling for the moms, but especially when they have a litter of cubs that they are trying to shepherd through the season and have reproductive success. So not only do they bear fruit, but also they have to feed and protect their kids and make sure that their children go on to have independent, productive salmon-eating lives so they can compete in Fat Bear Week. So here are some of the bears to watch out for. Chunk, obviously gorgeous, has a big scar across his face. It's like he's been in Bear Fight Club. Grazer, she is a blonde. She's had 2 litters, but the cool thing about Grazer is she fights with the dudes and wins. So she's had 2 successful litters of cubs, but she goes into these fishing spots and she's kicking ass and taking names. Like, she does not even care. She fights like a boy bear. And they back off. They see her come like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Walker is another good one. Some of the bears have numbers. 164. This is one of my favorites because they all develop their own technique for getting as much salmon as possible. Some of them sit and wait patiently, like Otis. And Otis is great because they didn't even think that he was going to survive the summer. But when they saw him sort of waddle up to the river in July, they're like, oh, he's back. He has won 4 times. He is the most decorated Fat Bear Week champion. So when it was just Fat Bear Tuesday back in 2014, he won that. He also won in 2016, 2017, and 2021. 2 years ago was Otis's most recent. And I think he's the sentimental favorite because he's missing a lot of teeth. He shows up really skinny, but somehow he manages to fatten up and he's hanging in there. And the reason he's a sentimental favorite, and, once you start reading about these bears, you kind of get emotionally invested in their stories. This may be Otis's last year. But so 164, he's the belly flopper. So Otis just sits and waits patiently, and he's like Yoda because the salmon just show up for him. 164, he belly flops in, displaces all the water, and somehow he's like Gollum. He just manages to come up with fish. There's 402. big successful reproductive success is her middle name. She has had 8 litters. So she is the octomom of brown bears. Keep an eye out for her because she obviously is doing something right. She is evolved, she is hungry, and she is also successful. 2 of the favorites, 428 and 429, these are twin girls. And you know they're tough because Grazer, she's the mama bear who fights the boys. 428 and 429, they're her cubs. They are sisters. And they are also playing to win, and they're rising up through the bear ranks into maturity. Holly, she's a big mama. So she's like the Playboy playmate. Like Hef would have married Holly because she's buxom, she's juicy, she's succulent, she has a big fat ass, and she's blonde. So Holly is the blonde. She also is a big threat. Last year's winner is appropriately named 747 because he's as big as a jet plane. Weighs in at 1,400 pounds. So can he displace Otis? I don't know. He knows how to win. He has won in the past. 747 is a big fella. And it's always fun seeing the bears at this point because it looks like they've got so much fat stored that it looks like they can't even move. Now, one of my very favorites in the competition is 901. Not only because she's a chubby bunny and she knows how to pack on the poundage, but these are healthy chubs. I mean, this is what they're meant to do. They're not lazy. They're not claiming the rest of the world is fat phobic. They're not demanding like bigger airplane seats and wider hotel hallways because they're undisciplined. They are highly disciplined, and they're doing exactly what they were designed to do. 901 is a new mom. So she is showing up with offspring, and she is as girthy and pleasantly plump as they get. So I think that she is absolutely in the running for the whole thing. And now that you have gotten the rundown, this is it. This is go time. You know, we're on the precipice of a champion being crowned. And if I'm not mistaken, today is the day. So you can go back, you can see your favorites. Hopefully you've already voted. If not, get your votes in there. And, you know, if Otis tugs at your heartstrings, well, if he is in fact the winner, then maybe this week we have to do a happy hour in his honor. You know what? I'm just going to call it right now. I'm calling an audible that we have to have a bear-themed mocktail for this week's happy hour. I said it. I'm saving the world. I have to do it. Sometimes I have to turn on a dime to make the world a better and safer place for you. With all the madness, uncertainty, and insanity, we have to have other things that keep us occupied, sane, and happy. There you go. The end of Fat Bear Week. It is a gift to you. This has been Kennedy Saves the World. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.
Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.